Hello, everyone. You know what kind of time it is? It's time for the NFL. Week 1. It's officially here. It's football season. Gotta love it. And it's finally back. It's great to see just football in general, but now we have not just college, but also pros. So, we got NFL football for you. It's going to be a great season. Already looking forward to it. Obviously, all of us are thoroughly excited to see the Lions playing this season. Gonna be awesome. Without further ado, let's just get into this. Let's get into week 1. It's gonna be just me tonight. Or I guess I should say today because I'm recording today. Well, it's gonna be just me today. Sermensky was unavailable. Labor Day kind of threw us all off. Normally we're gonna be recording on Mondays. Just didn't really work out this week, of course, with Labor Day being on Monday. So or well, it's obviously always on Monday. But with Labor Day this weekend, it kind of screwed us all up. So gonna be just me today. The only picks I have also are me and Serbensky. I think he'll be posting Sam and if Calvin ends up making the picks. I think he'll be putting their picks on the podcast once we get them. I think he might post the NFL ones too. I'm not really sure. Um, but first, we have the opening game of the season. What a doozy of an opening game! You got the Baltimore Ravens heading on the road to take on the defending two-time defending champions of the Kansas City Chiefs. Rematch of the AFC Championship game from a season ago. Um, this is anybody's game. I mean, this is a huge early season game, really. I mean, it doesn't really get bigger than this. And this is an awesome way to start the season. Two teams that have a very good chance of winning the AFC again. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they had one problem last year, and that was their inability to really throw the ball to anybody else other than Travis Kelce. So they went ahead and got Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. Now, Hollywood Brown is a hurt. There's obviously a lot of a lot of questions on what will happen with Rashee Rice. Will he get suspended? Will he not? No one really knows. So that's kind of a huge question mark that hangs over Kansas City. As for the Baltimore Ravens, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I think that's all that really needs to be said for the offense. Of course, they also got Mark Andrews. They still got Zay Flowers. Baltimore's defense is also nasty. Kansas City's, I think, is very underrated. 50-50 game here, but I think the Ravens are out for blood. You know, after what happened last year with when they refused to run the football against Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, they just kept trying to throw it with Lamar Jackson. I think they're out for blood this time. They are not happy with that result, and they're gonna be ready to get revenge on Kansas City in opening week. The Lions beat them last year. Who says the Ravens can't do it too? Zemeski has the Kansas City Chiefs taking this one though. He's got Kansas City getting the win at home to start the season and to kick off the NFL season. Then we got an interesting one. A Brazil Friday night game. I'm just as confused as probably most of you are. The Green Bay Packers against the Philadelphia Eagles. I was about to say on the road, but it's in Brazil, so there's not really a home team. The Packers and the Eagles. You know, I don't know what the NFL was thinking with sending two green teams to Brazil when in that area like Brazil, you're not allowed to wear green, I guess. I don't know what it really. I've heard stuff that like it's about a gang. I've heard stuff it's about some rival soccer team, a rival team of the soccer, or a rival. Or hold on a minute, I need to. It's either the color of some gang I've heard, or it's supposed to be like one of the colors of the rival of the soccer team that plays at that stadium that these two will be at. Now I said it right. Um, who really cares? I'm there to watch football, and that I was funny when there was they were talking to guys before the game, um, you know, about are they excited or are they excited about being in Brazil and whatever else, and I think it was Devonta Smith who just was like, no comment. They're like, really, you're not excited? And he goes, it's football. Just line up and play. Like he could not care less. That's I think what most of the fans are saying is just like, yeah, where's the game? I don't care if they're in Brazil. I don't really doesn't make any difference to me. But Green Bay, Philly, this should be a very fun game. I think both of these teams. Green Bay is a young and is a young up and coming team. They've been they're very young. They've got a lot of growing still to do. And the Philly Eagles have reinvented their defense. This is anybody's game again. Jalen Hurts versus Jordan Love. I think that the Eagles can get this one done now. It's gonna be very close, but Philly's got brand new coordinators, guys of which know what they're doing, and they also have good corners now. They're not a bunch of bums. They got themselves Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, which will be a drastic improvement from having big play Slay and nothing. So Philly Eagles, I think they take the win here just barely over Green Bay. As I said though, 50-50 chance here. Am I picking Philly because I can't stand Green Bay? Yes. Okay. I also think Philly can win it though anyway. So I do not want to see Green Bay with yet another good quarterback. No. But I'm taking the Eagles in this one. Sterbensky went Green Bay. I'm not really sold in Jordan Love yet, but if he has another good season, I am not gonna be happy. Uh, Pittsburgh Steelers on the road taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Um, Another tough one because the Steelers are a team that you never know. Mike Tomlin somehow finds a way to get this team to 500 no matter how good or how bad they are, and I will never understand it because it really just makes no sense. The Steelers for several years have not been all that special, but somehow he still finds a way to carry them somehow to a 500 above 500 record, which just makes no sense, and then on occasion makes the playoffs and loses in round one. Like I don't get it. I don't know how he does it, but he does. And I can't help but think the Steelers could win this one too. But I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to take this one at home against the Steelers. I think the Falcons just you got the brand new coaching staff. It's not going to be um, you know Arthur Smith and his Dumbo calls. It's not going to be that. It's going to be, even Raheem Morris. You know, we'll see what Raheem Morris is like. But to me, it's like he doesn't have to do anything. Just let his coordinators do the job for him. Really, you know, all he really has to do is let the coordinators be the coordinators. Let them call the offense, and he'll be fine. He just needs to be the one that facilitates. He doesn't have to be the one making any of the calls, which I don't think he really is. He might be calling defense, but but his offensive coordinator just let the coordinators be the coordinators, and he should be fine. And I think Atlanta's gonna be a lot better this year. I do have the Falcons winning Week 1. Zerbensky's got the same thing. He's got the Falcons winning Week 1 against the Steelers. Arizona Cardinals on the road taking on the Buffalo Bills. Um, Sterbensky for this one, he has the Buffalo Bills over his Arizona Cardinals. So he's got the Bills winning at home. I have the same thing. Arizona's going to be better this year. They're not going to be better than Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo will be that good either, but they're going to be better than Arizona. I think the Bills are going to take a bit of a hit, though, especially with no Stephon Diggs and really not really much to replace them. I mean, they got Keon Coleman. Yay. But there's not really a replacement they have for Stephon Diggs. They also didn't get back Gabe Davis, so I don't really know what's going to happen in Buffalo. but it could be a rough year for the Bills. They might miss the playoffs. You never know. Next, we have the Tennessee Titans on the road taking on the Chicago Bears. Um, Tennessee is another really interesting team because I think they're either going to soar beyond expectations and possibly make a surprise playoff appearance, or they're going to tank miserably and have a horrible season. I don't think there's any in between for them, but I don't think this is one they win. I do have the Bears taking the win at home and getting Caleb Williams started on a high note, taking down the Tennessee Titans. Trubisky has the same thing. He's got the Chicago Bears at home. Next, we have the New England Patriots taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, Trubisky's got the Bengals. So do I. This is like, remember last year when we would take, yeah, it's Bengals. Remember last year when we would take anybody, whenever we saw the Panthers were on the schedule, and then we just saw whoever was playing them, and we just took the other team. That's gonna be this. No one's going to be taking anybody. No one's going to be taking the Patriots against anybody. Next, we have the Houston Texans on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. Very fun game. I think Houston will take it, but these are two, last year, these are two very evenly matched teams. Houston made huge moves in the offseason. They got a ton of brand new talent into Houston. Their team's gonna be nasty good, I think, this year. The Indy Colts should be solid. I think this will be a fun game to start off the year, but I got the Texans taking a close one. Um, same goes for Jacob Serbenski. He's got the Houston Texans also on the road. Next, we have another really fun game: the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road, taking on the in-state Miami Dolphins. Serensky has taken the Miami Dolphins to take down the Jaguars. Um, it's gonna be. I think this is a tough one. I think this is gonna be really close. I think this game does have serious potential to um, be a very high scoring game because I think the Jaguars they got some more receivers in there. Yeah, they lost Calvin Ridley, but they also drafted Brian Thomas. They still have Evan Engram. They got Travis Etienne. I think the offense will be pretty good. I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring in this game, but you know who's gonna win a game in a shootout. Of all the teams who is gonna win a shootout, it's Miami. There is no amount of scoring that you can put up to outscore Miami. It won't happen. So you can stop them. You certainly could get some defense to stop them, but in terms of trying to win a shootout, you're not going to do it against Miami. So give me the Dolphins. Although I think that is going to be a very highly entertaining game to watch down in what was it? Coral Gables. I think that's the city where it is. Back in Hard Rock Stadium. I know that's the name of the stadium. I can't remember where it's located. I think it's Coral Gables. Carolina Panthers on the road against the New Orleans Saints. I do not like the Saints team at all, and it's Dave Canales in Carolina. I got Panthers. And that might be a surprising pick. I can see that Strubensky took the New Orleans Saints, but the Saints are bad. Not only is this team old, but they're just not good. And Carolina, like I said, they now have Dave Canales. So you see what this guy has done with all kinds of quarterbacks. I mean, we saw him do it with Geno Smith. He turned Geno Smith from a career backup into a Pro Bowler. He turned Baker Mayfield, whose career was going down the drain, he gave him a career best season. Like, this guy has breathed life into quarterbacks' careers. And now he gets Bryce Young, who's barely even started his career. I think he's going to do very well with Carolina. I think the Panthers will be a lot better this year. The Saints are going to be last in this division. I do not like New Orleans at all. I think that Dennis Allen's going to be done after this year. Give me the Panthers to get the win here. Like I said, Semensky has the New Orleans Saints. Next is the Minnesota Vikings on the road against the New York Football Giants. Wow, Serbenski took the New York Giants. Okay, I was not expecting that one. So he's got Giants winning at home against the Vikings. Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota. Okay, I've seen the Giants. I've seen Daniel Jones. The Giants are going to be very similar. I think the three teams I think are going to be fighting for the number one overall pick in this coming draft is going to be New England, New Orleans, and New York Giants, not the Jets. Giants, Saints, Patriots. I think those are your top three. All those teams are beyond terrible, especially New England. But the Giants and the Saints are both pretty bad too. Now I know that Minnesota obviously will not have J.J. McCarthy. It will be Sam Darnold, but um, it's the Giants. The Giants are they're so bad. Daniel Jones is such a bad quarterback. I cannot take the Giants like ever, unless it's a really bad team. But even then, I don't even know. Next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The LA Chargers. It's so weird saying Los Angeles Chargers. Like, can they go back to San Diego? It just makes more sense. Um, but these two, first game for Jim Harbaugh. Consider me a partial Charger fan this year because I just really like Jim Harbaugh. Obviously, I'm pulling for them. So give me Chargers. I think they can win this one anyway. Um, Serbenski also has the LA Chargers taking this one at home. Next, we have the Denver. Whoa. We have the Denver Broncos taking on the road, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know why I did that. But the Denver Broncos on the road against Seattle Seahawks. Serbenski has Seattle taking this one. Of course, you know I would have Seattle taking this one. Um, Denver's just not that good of a team. Again, I mean, and I'm obviously I say it because I'm a partial Seattle fan, but the Seahawks I think are a much better team than Denver is. Broncos I think will be better again. We'll see what happens with Denver. I think Bo Nix could very well be Sean Payton's next version of Drew Brees. I think that's what we probably sees in Bo Nix, but and we'll see what happens with that. I have Seattle, though, taking the win, especially at home. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys on the road against the Cleveland Browns. The debut of Tom Brady as an analyst. He'll be doing this game. It will be his first ever uh, 4 o'clock kickoff, 4 o'clock Fox kickoff NFL game, and he has the Cowboys on the road against the Browns. Very, very good matchup here, but I have Cleveland taking the win at home. The Browns are a nasty good defensive team. Now, they are going to need a little bit more out of the QB play. Deshaun Watson is going to have to actually look like Deshaun Watson. He can't be a bum. But Dallas just who else do they have on offense other than really CeeDee Lamb? Their running back room is a joke. Jake Ferguson's okay, but he ain't no great tight end. I mean, that's the only other good option they have in that receiving game. And then the Dallas defense is good, but I don't think it's as good as everybody is saying. I got Cleveland with this one. I do not like Dallas this year. I think they're in danger of missing the playoffs. I think. I mean, they didn't get anything at running back. You need a running back because you let Pollard go, and then your decision was to sign Zeke Elliott. Like, I don't see how that really makes you better as a team. You also didn't get another receiver behind CeeDee Lamb, and you took forever to resign him, which makes no sense. I don't get what Dallas is trying to do. I'm taking the Browns here. I like their team better. Surbanski is taking Dallas, which I respect that. I could see Dallas winning it too. I don't like what's going on there. I got Cleveland. Next is the Washington Commanders on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Surbanski is taking Tampa Bay to win this one at home. So am I. Washington's going to be a better team this year. And I think there's a legitimate shot Washington wins this game. Um, but it's tough for me to take them against Tampa Bay because the Bucks are just a good team. Tampa has got some serious talent. I am curious to see how Baker plays without Dave Canales. Will he go back to being a bum, or will he still retain his similar success? Geno Smith has not been brutal since Dave Canales left, but he's not lived up to when he had Dave Canales in town. Um, Tampa Bay. We'll see what goes on with Baker Mayfield, but I think this is a 50-50 game, really, because Washington, I think, is a very underrated team this year, especially with the guys that they put together. You know what? I'm actually going to. No, I'm doing it. I'm taking Washington. You know, I'm trying to rationalize taking Tampa, but I think Washington will do it. I know I took Tampa, but no, I'm going Commanders. I think they're just a little bit better than Tampa Bay. So I'll go with Washington. LA Rams on the road against the Detroit Lions. I don't think I really have to explain why we're taking the Lions here. I think that one's pretty obvious. Honestly, I'm just going to throw it in for all of us because I highly doubt anyone is not taking the Lions. um, but in all reality, you know, as much as I think the Rams are also an underrated team, I think there's a lot. I don't think they're being talked about enough. I think the Rams are going to be very good this year. They very well could compete with the Niners for the division title there, but the Lions are a very, very scary, good-looking team. It's amazing to me because we're still a young team, obviously, but the crazy part to me is just how good Jared Goff has been. Because mind you, when we traded Stafford to the Rams, Jared Goff was a throw-in piece because they needed something to match the contracts to make the trade work, and Jared Goff was the only thing they had. So they gave us Goff, and it made sense because they didn't need Goff anymore. They're gonna get Stafford. So Jared Goff was kind of just a throw was kind of thrown in the trade to make the money at work out. Instead, Jared Goff has turned into a stud for the Lions, got his contract extension, and has looked great for us since coming into town. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And it is so crazy to see just how good the Lions have been. And now to say that we're actually in the position to realistically win a Super Bowl, and it's not just a joke when we say that, is honestly awesome. And it is so, so great to be able to say that we can actually win a Super Bowl because that is honestly insane to say. But I am taking Lions. They are Sunday night football. They'll open up Sunday night football back at home. Rematch of the game of which the Lions won their first ever playoff game in 30 years. Wild card rematch game. Gonna be fun. Got the Lions. Monday night football. Cooking off the Monday night football slate will be the New York Jets heading on the road to take on the San Fran 49ers. Once again, Aaron Rodgers will be on Monday night football. And once again, he'll be playing the guy that tore his Achilles last year. Don't think he'll tear his Achilles this year, but even if he doesn't, Serbinsky has the 49ers. I got San Francisco too. San Fran is a nasty good team. They had a lot of contract disputes of which they were trying to shore up. They had Brandon Ayuk in a contract situation. They had Trent Williams in a contract situation. They have agreed to extensions with both guys. Of course, we'll see whenever Ricky Pearsall can come back. Obviously, recently was shot in the chest. Best of wishes to him. Seems as though he's already feeling better, though, as he has been released from the hospital and he's already in the 49ers weight room again. So I think he's gonna be all right, but thankfully he is okay, and thankfully he was not injured. He was not too seriously injured in that. Although probably will be a few weeks before he plays. Obviously, their first round pick from when they were in Detroit, which I still will say was probably one of the most fun I've ever had. Was being in Detroit for that draft. But I got San Francisco taking the win over the New York Jets in Santa Clara. I know they're in Santa Clara. I know it doesn't make any sense. So San Fran 49ers, but in Santa Clara. That's all I got for this one. No, I hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, Sermensky should be putting our Calvin and Sermensky's picks, or Calvin and Sam's picks on the podcast once we get them for these picks here. I think he does the NFL. Of course, he does college, and they'll be on there as well. Everything will be on there. Um, so check out our Instagram page. It will be linked in the description down below. It's in the link for every video. So whenever you watch a video, it will be down there. Go ahead and check it out. We'll have plenty of stuff on there for you every week. That's all for us, though. Until next time, adios, everybody.